Hello, hello everyone. How are y'all doing today. Today we're going to be streaming some game development of Fish Game. Thinking today we'll probably build another island. We have one over here. I think it looks pretty nice, but let's build another one, I'd say right over on this area. I'm quiet. Let me turn that up a little bit. Is that better? Alright, cool. So over here we have our terrain group. We are going to go ahead and edit. Okay, I turned it up a little bit more. Let me see if I can just go ahead and figure out how to add more terrain over here. Let me go ahead and actually turn those off for a second, just so we can see what we're doing. Some technical difficulties. I'm not going to respond to that. I am not seeing the option to just increase that a little bit. Tell you what, we'll do something else, right? Let's go ahead and look at the fishing mechanic. So you should be able to hear the audio. Alright, I turned off the water. So let's work on some fishing, right? I have removed the fish currently. They will be coming back. They were causing some lag issues earlier. Those naughty fish. This will affect the trout population, I do believe. Okay, so we have that. That is going to be our fishing rod. I think it looks pretty nice. We do need to change up the color a little bit. The audio still alright? Alright, let's see here. Alright, I remember what I was doing here. I was going to make it so that you can actually drive the boat with you. So that's what we're going to work on right now. So I'll show you something just real quick. Which is that, wait, how do I pause the game? Okay, so if I come over here, see, I have a little thing in the bottom left corner that says boat seat. So whenever I'm looking at the seat of the boat, I'm making sure that it can say boat seat. See, if I look away from it, it doesn't say boat seat. If I look at it again, it's boat seat. So then that's the trigger that I'm going to use for if you want to sit in the boat and go ahead and drive it. So driving obviously is going to be faster than swimming, so obviously you're going to be a lot faster than that. You can get places a lot faster that way. I think that's what we're going to start with right now. How does that sound? Let's have a little bean right here. That's right, Pudgy. For a fish game is fish. Very, very, very astute of you. Hello, Hamza. What do you mean mod? Who's mod here? I don't think anyone's mod. I haven't modded anyone. That's not very nice. Let's have use as E. So that way I can go over here. Instead of using get key to find a key on the button, I can get button. Use. And I need to set the player's position to where the boat is. So here's what we'll do, right? We'll go ahead and play the game. We'll make sure people know you're just gating when you say stuff like that. That's not very nice. And we'll go ahead and be right here, up against the seat. And we'll go ahead and pause the game, and we're going to copy the position and rotation. Copy that. Copy the Euler angles. So we're going to do, I believe it's player. That's not, it's not. It's transform, dot position. Yeah, don't worry about Euler, he's fine. Don't worry, guys. I'm good at coding. Don't worry about it. There we go. Just need a letter F in there. Press F to pay respects, guys, to my coding skill. We'll go ahead and save that. And now, as long as we're looking at the boat seat and we press E, that should put us into all compiler errors must be fixed. Ah, gotcha. I found it. There we go. Alright, if it's castable, I see. Get rid of that. There we go. See, guys, I know how to code. No issues found. You see that? So now, when we go ahead and look at the boat and press E, it should go ahead and put us into the boat. So I click on the player real quick. That does not seem to be working. Let's make sure I put this together correctly. So use E. That it is, ahahu. Coding is indeed fickle. It's not what I would call an exact science. Come on now. I know who you are. Just based on your text messages. Of course I know who you are. You're former Vice President Barack Obama. There we go. So now the player will be moved and rotated onto the boat seat. I do want him to look a little bit higher though, just so you can see where he's going. Let's go ahead and, I think right there is pretty good. Let's go ahead and pause the game, copy the new quaternion in there. Well, that's not what I wanted. There's a reload real quick. I see what's going on. So it's taking the current rotation of the player and it's applying that to the changed quaternion. That's actually making the player look a lot lower than we want it to be. So as you can see, if I'm looking like straight down, then I'll be looking straight down right there. That's not what we want. So if I'm looking like this, then that should be right there. So the quaternion's working, the position not so much. So let's fix the position issue first. We should be standing right here. Should be a little bit lower than that. Let's go ahead and pause the game right there. Go ahead and copy out some values. Yeah, no, it's not moving the player over. It really should be. That's unfortunate. Let's see what we can do about that. So let's play around with this for a second. To move the camera around, does that move me around as well? Let's find out. It does not. I can't move the camera. How about the pivot attached to the player? Nope. The player themselves. It's not working out as well as I hoped. Well, I guess we can work without the position for now. We'll set a limit later on so that you can only get in the boat as long as you're close enough to it. Right then, so we're going to look down, going to press that. We want, when you look down, we want it to be much higher than that. Let's see how that looks. No, that still does the same thing. A suggestion, go right ahead. My ears are open to all suggestions. I am waiting patiently for your suggestion. Since to do with the matter at hand, but can you put the fishing rod and other items in a 2D plane like an FPS? Yeah, absolutely. What you're seeing right now, this is all temporary. I might just get rid of that whole island that I spent like 3 days on. Yeah, no, I get you. Like, we're trying to prevent stuff like this from happening. Yeah, that is on the to-do list. And anyone else in the chat room, if you want to make any suggestions or anything, please feel free to. This is a game that we're all working on together in a way, so please feel free. And the fishing rod won't be out all the time. I currently have it enabled because I was going to be working on the fishing. In later builds, the fishing rod will only come out while you're aiming, getting ready to cast the lure. So you won't really see much of that anyway, but yes, I will eventually put that on a 2D plane on the camera. That way we won't have that clipping issue. So I'm thinking instead of just setting the position like that, instead what we can do is slowly rotate the player, sort of like an animation, so that it goes until No need to apologize. It's all good. This is like pre-alpha, so all suggestions are welcome. But I think what we can do is we can slowly add to the player's rotation so that it looks like they're actually turning, looking up, and sitting down, backing up. So let's go ahead and try that real quick. So I'll go ahead and leave the music playing in the background for you guys. So what we currently want is when the player is looking at the seat, we want them to turn this way until it's about 90 degrees positive. Do we need someone to model an engine? The boat runs on magic. No engine here. That's a joke, by the way. We will eventually do all that. So what we'll do is transform dot rotation dot y plus equals, let's go 1 degree at a time. Alright, so now that we have a reference to the camera controller, we should be able to rotate the player. So when we want to rotate, we just have it to be times the rotate speed, so we'll call this rot. We'll set the rotation in the inspector. So the way we'll do that is we'll call a new public variable. We'll call it a float called rot, short for rotating. And then when we refresh it, okay. Where is that? That's because of this, okay. Well, I do need to work on that real quick, so let me comment that out. And over here should be appearing is a variable called rot. There we go. There's going to just be our rotation speed. We'll call it maybe 5. we'll do this as long as the player's rotation dot y is less than or equal to 90. So this way, as long as the player is looking in that direction, they'll continue rotating until they make it there. So let's take a look. Does anyone have any questions about like plans or what basically we're doing right now? Okay, so that's a start. It is rotating the player. But it stops as soon as we're not looking at the boat anymore. What that means we need to do is take that out of this if function. So we'll take this out real quick. Got any plans tomorrow? Work. A generation at Wendy's. I'm not sure I understand the question. Yes, actually, Scott Show. So basically, there was a post made by a Tumblr user named Squid Biscuit in, I believe, 2015. You can find references to everything like that on either our Instagram or our Discord server. If you need any invites or anything, you can ask anyone in chat. Let me just go ahead and pull that up real quick. Oh, you're asking me to go to Wendy's with you. I do unfortunately have plans. Yeah, our Instagram is the same as our Twitch page, just GameGeek Studios. And our Discord server, I can go ahead and generate an invite to that right now. But basically, it was a post made by a Tumblr user named Squid Biscuit, who had an idea for a video game but never went through with it. And basically, is like an Eldritch Horror kind of thing. So you're going to be going fishing, and all of a sudden you find some things that really shouldn't be in the ocean. Creatures bigger than you can imagine. Creatures who look very unnatural. And there's a link to our Discord server if you need it. So basically, a little bit of an origin story. A bunch of us met on a comedy app. Oh man, well now it makes me real excited. Make sure to follow along. Yes, absolutely. We'll be glad to have you. If you want to go ahead and join the Discord, everyone will welcome you aboard. And you can follow our progress right there. It has been a little slow lately due to, academics and everything, but looking forward to get back into the thick of things, So, okay, let's make a quick boolean that's a true or false statement. We'll make it private so that it can only be accessed in this code. Private is rotating. Private bool is rotating. And as long as the transform.rotation.y is less than 90, we will set the is rotating to true. And then we'll have an else if transform.rotation. Keyboard, work with me here. Is greater than or equal to 90. Is rotating. Will be false. And that's just because it's only going to be acting on that as long as this statement is true, that the tag is castable. So if we go ahead and take a look at the boat seat, which I'll click on real quick as soon as it reloads my scripts. Click on the boat seat. It has the tag as castable. So that way I can kind of control where the player is looking and what they can act on in the world. So, but because it stops acting on it as soon as it's not looking at something castable, we need to make it outside of this. So we'll go ahead and come down here. If is rotating. And a tip for any programmers out there, you don't have to put is true. If you're only doing a simple statement like if rotating is true, then you only have to type is rotating like that. This is written in C#. If is rotating, then we'll copy paste that code from earlier. The target rotated by rot, just like that. That should fix our issue. Alright, so we'll go ahead and look at the boat. Well, I'm only moving my mouse to look at the seat, but it does still stop when I'm off the seat, which is very unfortunate. Let's see what went wrong here. Okay, so I think we can actually move this statement right here. We'll move it off over here. That way we can actually stop rotating, even if we're not looking at the boat seat. So if transform.rotation.y is greater than or equal to 90, is rotating equals false. And then we can knock that off right here. That's just so that we can stop rotating as soon as we're done. No, it's still stopping as soon as we stop looking at the seat. Let's see what we can do about that. I think let's keep an eye on the rotation of the player. Make sure that it's staying below 90, because that would solve our issue if that was the case. Oops. I do need to patch that. That's a glitch where the camera gets inverted involuntarily. So it's at negative 91.75, and it's rotating, and then it stops. So unfortunately that's not the case, or that's not solving the issue. It is still stopping as soon as it gets above that. I do have a theory. I believe I should be using get button instead of get button down. So the difference is get button down checks if you're holding the button. I believe get button just checks if you've pressed it once. So let's go and try that real quick. And that should do it. Hot dogs. Hot diggity dog. No, still stopping as soon as it gets there. But let's reload it real quick. Nope, still just stops short. Hey, I appreciate that, Scott Show. That's some great words of encouragement. I appreciate that. You heading out? Alright, you have a good one, man. Thanks for stopping by. I think it would be prudent of us to go ahead and repeat this statement so that we keep is rotating true. Alright, Scott, peace out. No, I got that invert glitch again. That's unfortunate. That's not what you want to see. I'll probably patch that on my own time. You guys don't want to see me crushing bugs right now. No, it's still stopping. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in like a separate function. That way we can all keep track of it. So here's void update. So basically what I've done real quick is as soon as you press the button use, it's gonna run the start animation command. So I have the start animation command right down here. We're gonna copy paste the code from before, but we're gonna go ahead and remove the check for whether is rotating is true because we're not using that anymore. So it's going to go ahead and start rotating. I believe, okay, let's go ahead and remove this code as well. Let's just see if that will take hold. If we just, oh, we'll be spinning for quite a while, but let's go ahead and see if that's working properly. No, it's only doing that for as long as I hold E. So it looks like we will go ahead and need a boolean for that, a true or false statement. So we'll go ahead and set is rotating to true. Yeah, that's still only doing that while I'm holding the button. I wanted to go ahead and rotate the player all the way. I could put together a standard animation for that that's not done with code. So I'll go ahead and remove this real quick. We'll try that instead. We'll keep is rotating because we'll need that. I think we'll rename it. We'll rename it to boat anim, and we will have to make it public. That way we can access it in the inspector. That's this over here. That's the inspector. Then we'll change this to boat anim. So, those of you who might want to get into animation, this is generally how it works. This is the longer way of doing it. We don't actually have a player model. If you can see, he's actually just a bean, similar to the one on the ground over there. See, the bean's actually inside him. So we don't actually have a player model, doesn't have joints or anything, but what we can animate are the position, rotation, and scale of the player. So what we're going to want to do is open up some windows. In animation, we need the animation window. We'll go ahead and dock that to the bottom. And we'll also need the animator. So what we'll go ahead and do is we'll create an animator real quick. We'll just call this player underscore idle. It's not going to hold an animation, we'll just have that be there. And then we're going to create a new animation. And that'll be player underscore boats. And basically what we're going to do is, let's see here. We're going to go ahead and record. No, not yet. Let's go ahead and copy the transform just so that we can, we'll copy the position real quick. That way we can reset it in case something goes wrong. So we're going to go ahead and record. We're going to want the player to be right up next to the boat when it's starting. Oops. Grab the player. So when starting, we want the player to be right up next to the boat seat. We also want the player to be looking at the boat seat, so that's around -90. And then we'll also need to point the pivot, I believe. Point that a little bit downward. Oh, we can't do that just yet. That's alright. And then from here, what we'll do is turn the player around. So okay, so if we're working based off 60 frames per second, we can say that it takes about half a second for him to turn around. So we'll go up to frame 30, and by this point, the player should have completely turned around. So we'll set this to 90. Is it still recording? Okay, now it's recording. So we'll go ahead and set this to 90. So frame 30 is right there. We go ahead and set it to 90. We'll go ahead and stop recording and go ahead and head to the animator. So from entry, the player goes into idle, and when the player is on the boat anim, when boat anim is true, we want to go from player idle to player boat, and that way it's going to play that animation so that the player looks at the boat and turns around. It's going to add behavior. It should be in player controller. Hello? Okay, so I am in the animation right now. I seem to be unable to turn the camera. Alright, so it's clear I do have a couple things I need to go research to remember how to do it. I do need to remember how to get back into the animator. It's been a while since I've animated something. Has been a while. I am thinking about wrapping it up pretty soon. If you guys like, however, what I can do is show you some different projects I've been working on. Well, I say been working on. I haven't touched them in about a year or so. This was before GameGeek Studios even started. So what I'll go ahead and do is save the project. I'll go ahead and save all my scripts. We'll close out of that. And what we're going to do is go into Spelunky Style. So if you guys have ever played a game called Spelunky, it's basically what it is it's a roguelike game, which means that every time you play it, you're going to start from the beginning, and it's a randomly generated cave that you're going to go ahead and go through, and there's always a path down to the end. So what my project aims to do is sort of replicate that and kind of add my own spin on that. It says a few seconds ago just because I just clicked it, but yeah, here we go. So we're going to maximize on play. We're going to display the camera as soon as the level generates, and let's just go take a look. Hopefully it still works. It's been a while since I've opened this one. February 2002, that's when I last opened this. So it's going to say no cameras rendering until the player's here. So here we go. There's no animations on it, but here's a randomly generated cave. You can jump around, you can sprint, you can hold on to things. And just go and find your way to the goal. It's not over here. Let's move to the other side. And here's the door. And when you get to the door, you press space. It's gonna load for the next scene. And here we go. It just keeps going. So yeah, this is something I was pretty proud of as soon as it started working properly. Obviously, it's still not complete. There's these little gem things everywhere. These are triggers for different things. The yellow blocks, the yellow diamonds, those represent a block that will always exist. When they're on the grid, those blocks will always exist. See this one right here? That's just a spawn point for the door. And the blue blocks have a 50% chance of existing. So that's how you create some more detail within the scene. See, like this block has 50% chance of existing. The block under it also has a 50% chance of existing. So they can block off some paths as well. And yeah, we'll go ahead and go to the next room. No cameras rendering. So yeah, if you play this, literally no two rooms will ever be the same. And that's pretty neat to me, considering I didn't spend too much time actually working on these rooms. Oh, looks like the door's on the other side. And yeah, it just keeps going. Oops, see, I knew something would break eventually. If you didn't see, I just clipped into this wall over here. That's definitely not supposed to happen. Just did it again. Yeah, so it's been a while since I worked on this one, so it does not surprise me that there are bugs. And it just keeps going until it doesn't. And I'm curious to know what you guys think about this one. It's not too complicated. I think that's enough of that. What else can I show you guys? So this was even longer ago. I was trying to make a video game based off the movie Big Hero 6. Don't ask why, I was just really interested in doing that. But I did go ahead and make a character swapper, put physics on all of them, well, most of them, and give them some separate abilities. So we'll go and take a look at that real quick. So just a big map real quick. So I don't have models in for everyone. I don't have animations on basically anyone. This would be Hiro Hamada. He can move somewhat quickly, and he can jump. I can use the numpad or the numbers on my keyboard to switch. So that's Baymax. I do have a model in for him, and he's pretty slow. He can jump sort of high, but he can also fly. He can fly around super quick. I basically made that like Minecraft style, so You kind of float. You hold space to go higher. You can hold shift to go down. And yeah, just this didn't take me too long. This was just something I just kind of wanted to look at. Something proof of concept really. What else did I have? I think I have. That's not in. That's not in. This would be the speedy girl. I forget her name, but she can move super fast, jump pretty far. And then there was the jumpy guy. He can jump really high. See? But yeah, cause see, the projects like this are just for fun. Fish game. I am really proud of the progress we've made so far, but I am very much looking forward to taking it to the next level with you guys. And hopefully we'll be see you all same time next Friday. And hope you all have a good one. I am still here for questions if you guys want to go ahead and post some of those. But other than that,